Hello everyone, and welcome to this review of the latest version of ExpressVPN. Now, ExpressVPN needs no introduction when it comes to reliability and consistency. But no VPN is perfect, and so that's why in today's video I'm going to look into ExpressVPN's positives and negatives in order to help you figure out whether or not this VPN could be the appropriate choice for you and your situation. Alright, let's begin with the privacy and no locks policy of ExpressVPN. And Express gets the best of credit for demonstrating their commitment to privacy in the real-life stress test when the Turkish government seized an ExpressVPN server in 2017 as part of an investigation, but were not able to extract any information out of the servers thanks to ExpressVPN having not stored any information on their servers in the first place, which can also be attributed to their trusted server technology, which are basically servers running on RAM disk drives rather than physical hard drives, which means that there are simply no physical drives for information to be stored in. Not to mention that there are various independent audit reports that prove that ExpressVPN upholds its no logs policy and that the server infrastructure of Express is a solid and secure one that's yet to be compromised. Now, regarding the ownership of ExpressVPN, it was acquired by Cape Technologies as of late 2021, the same company that owns CyberGhost, PIA, and ZenMate. Since the acquisition, very little has changed in the day-to-day operation of ExpressVPN, and that also extends to the privacy policy of Express, which is good to know. However, in September of 2021, ExpressVPN got caught up in a controversy involving ExpressVPN's chief information officer, who was once hired by the US and UAE intelligence services in cyber spy operations. He also worked on the controversial Project Raven, which ExpressVPN has publicly condemned. But besides ExpressVPN's condemnation of Project Raven, Express explained how Daniel's expertise and ability to understand adversaries helped the ExpressVPN team properly assess risks and prevent threats, and that his understanding of offense helped Express build a better defense. So overall, it's safe to say that ExpressVPN still holds up with regards to upholding the integrity of their no-logs policy and protecting the privacy of their users to the highest degree. Now, in terms of speed, keep in mind that speed tests will vary depending on various factors like your own connection speed, server load, and the distance between you and the server you're connecting to. And if you didn't know, when you connect to a VPN, your speed will drop due to the time it takes to encrypt your traffic. So generally speaking, drops in between 10 and 20% are considered to be excellent for a VPN, and anything between 20 to 30 or even 40% is still quite good, granted your base speed is fast enough to handle a 40% drop. But during my tests, I noticed that my speed drops remained within the 10 to 25% range, which is excellent. And so when it comes to speed, ExpressVPN will keep the speed drops to a minimum and as close to your base speed as possible. I would just recommend that you use the best performing protocol, and that'll be the Lightweight UDP protocol for the best results. And for the best performance on Windows specifically, I recommend downloading the lightweight optimized version of ExpressVPN if you want maximum speed and low latency. Though keep in mind that this version of ExpressVPN will not have the speed tester. So if you don't mind giving up that feature on your Windows app, then by all means download this version. I personally use it myself as it also speeds up the time it takes to connect to the servers, speeding up the time to connect from around 5 seconds to less than a second. So with regards to speed, ExpressVPN does very well. Just keep one thing in mind, which is the closer the VPN server to your physical location, the faster the speed. Though with the quality of the servers of ExpressVPN, even international servers will maintain great speeds. Now for streaming, ExpressVPN continues to be simply excellent. Express can unblock many streaming services including HBO Max, Hulu, Amazon Prime Video, and up to 18 Netflix libraries and many more. And I've been testing it a whole lot with a whole bunch of streaming services, and I've yet to come across a serious problem where I just can't unblock any streaming services. When one location doesn't work, just simply switch to another location and almost 10 times out of 10 it will work just fine. As for torrenting, ExpressVPN fully supports peer-to-peer activity without any restrictions on speed or bandwidth, and that support extends across all servers. So you don't need to select specific servers in order to be able to torrent or engage in any kind of peer-to-peer activities. As for you gamers out there, you'll be glad to know that ExpressVPN is also able to provide the best experience while gaming, and your ping will be as close to your base ping as it can be, and in most instances exactly the same as a matter of fact. Also, here's a pro tip. If you connect to a VPN server that's as close as it can be to your game server, you're much more likely to get even better ping than the usual. But of course, keep in mind that a VPN will typically increase your ping, except in some situations where your ISP might not exactly be blessing you with the best of connection speeds or latency, and so connecting to a VPN server will be the best choice as opposed to gaming using your ISP server. Now, as far as security is concerned, if you really haven't gotten the idea from the privacy policy, obviously ExpressVPN is very secure. Nobody will be able to intercept your connection, and your traffic will be hidden even from your ISP. In terms of protocols, you do get a few options, but from my experience, lightweight UDP is the fastest protocol, so it's definitely what I'd recommend most of you use. But leaving it on automatic is also a viable choice if you don't want to mess with the options. Now, features-wise, Express isn't exactly loaded with them. Express was made to be as easy to use as possible, while also being equipped with nothing but the necessary security features. The first being the kill switch, which severs your internet connection when the VPN disconnects unexpectedly, which is rare in ExpressVPN anyways. You also get split tunneling, which allows you to choose which applications bypass the VPN connection, or the other way around by having only selected applications use the VPN connection while leaving the rest of the network outside the VPN tunnel. And unlike most other VPNs, these features are still available for Mac users as well. So you won't exactly be missing out on these features if you're on Mac. And by default, ExpressVPN also uses perfect forward secrecy, which adds another layer of protection by automatically creating a new encryption key for every session and then replacing it every 60 minutes. This means that even if someone was able to intercept and decrypt your VPN connection, the most they would be able to get is 60 minutes of data. This is also backed up by the previously mentioned RAM disk servers, which promote the highest levels of security, privacy, and the lowest risk of data collection. Now, with regards to functionality in China, ExpressVPN is one of the only VPNs that still works in China, despite the country's blocks on VPN traffic. You're also able to access Chinese TV and websites, so your data will look like any normal browsing data through ExpressVPN's proprietary obfuscation, meaning that the Great Firewall of China won't be able to identify your VPN traffic. And obviously, at times, the Great Firewall of China will be updated to block ExpressVPN. But the good thing about ExpressVPN is that they're also quick to adjust to the Great Firewall of China so that it works there again. So typically, when it doesn't work, you don't really have to wait a whole lot in order for it to work again. And the same goes for all the other heavily restrictive countries like the UAE or Turkey. It's just that they don't have an advanced firewall like China does. So for the most part, you'll be good in any other country without really having to worry about functionality. Whereas, occasionally you might see that ExpressVPN might have a little bit of trouble functioning in China, but usually for very short times. And you can actually get around that by just maybe trying out a few more servers or switching protocols. Now, regarding servers, they remain unchanged. ExpressVPN operates more than 3,000 servers in 94 countries, which is plenty for most people. ExpressVPN is also natively compatible on almost every single modern smart device that you can think of, including Android, Apple iOS, Linux, macOS, smart TVs, Roku, and browser extensions are also available. As for simultaneous connections, you'll be able to secure up to 5 devices at a time per subscription. And the user experience is honestly just brilliant. The UI is very intuitive and easy to read. Nothing really to write home about in terms of looks, but the performance is certainly exceptional. And so to conclude, there's really not much to complain about with ExpressVPN. It's as every bit as consistent, practical, and easy to use. I suppose my only nitpick would be the lack of customization and the fact that it doesn't have any longer term plans that reduce the price even more besides the yearly plan. But besides that, if you're looking for the best VPN, whether for torrenting, streaming, unblocking geo restrictions, or to stay private online, ExpressVPN continues to be the way to go. And if you're interested in giving ExpressVPN a try,
I'll leave an exclusive discount down below, so feel free to use it to save a little bit more money on your subscription. And so that'll be it for this review. If you enjoyed it or learned something new,
consider liking the video and subscribe to stay up to date with everything VPN related. And let me know, what feature would you like to see in Express? Is there anything that you think Express is missing, such as a dark mode, for example? I would love to see that. And don't hesitate to drop your questions in the comments down below as well. Besides that, thank you very much for watching and have a wonderful day.